Making a commercial isn't so easy. There are actually a lot of people involved along with professional tools. That's why, with the announcement of the new iPhone 16 Pro, I asked myself, what if it were possible to include all those professional tools in just one pocket-sized device? Finding the right location is key. Since we didn't want to film the entire commercial in a studio, it would have been too easy with controlled lighting and familiar spaces, we decided to test this new iPhone outdoors, in conditions where 99% of people will likely use it. We didn't have two iPhone 16 Pros, so in the commercial you will see an iPhone 16 Pro as well. Since the major upgrades in the 16 Pro revolve around the camera, we made sure to push it to its limits in all the new shooting modes. Some essential accessories for recording 4K ProRes log include an SSD, maybe even 2 or 3 depending on capacity. This was something that we have actually initially overlooked, but it quickly became clear just how massive the file sizes are with these formats. The new 4K 120 FPS slow motion footage looks stunning, super smooth, beautiful, yes, but all the files are also ridiculously heavy and quite challenging to manage. That said, coming from a background of using professional cameras, there's honestly no comparison. Filming on an iPhone is far more enjoyable. Sure, in some cases you might feel a bit limited, especially with manual controls, but on the flip side, I always find the experience of shooting with an iPhone to be more pleasant. It's lightweight, easy to handle, and after all, it's still a smartphone. We tried out 3 different apps during the shoots. The default camera app remains, in my opinion, the best in many cases. I still don't understand why Apple hasn't introduced a proper Pro mode, maybe one that could be activated for those who really need it. I think most people buying a device like this are already interested in these features. Personally, I would have loved even just a histogram and a more intuitive interface, giving a bit more control over the footage. But luckily, there are alternatives in the App Store. My favorite by far is Final Cut Camera, which maintains a clean and simple interface, filling in those gaps left by the default camera app. We also tried using Blackmagic Camera, but while it's very professional, it has too many parameters that we didn't really need, so we opted for a more streamlined yet still professional experience. Controlling the iPhone with an Apple Watch or attaching MagSafe accessories are those small things that truly make a difference in everyday use. In particular, my favorite MagSafe accessory isn't a power bank or wallet, but this beautiful muff tripod. If you're into taking photos or shooting videos with your iPhone, this tripod is a must-have. Not only is it incredibly useful as a stand, both in portrait and landscape modes, but for this project it was crucial for capturing some of the shots. Especially since we were constantly filming with an SSD attached, the tripod made it so much easier to shoot from low angles or while on the move. Filming outdoors comes with its own set of challenges. When you are out in nature, everything becomes a bit less predictable. Unlike a controlled studio environment, you have to deal with changing light, unstable surfaces, and unexpected weather conditions. On this shoot, we faced all of that and more. The light constantly shifted as the sun moved behind the trees, which forced us to adapt our settings on the fly. And while the iPhone 16 Pro handled low light beautifully, it wasn't always easy to capture consistent shots. That said, the iPhone performed impressively well in all lighting conditions. Thanks to the log format, we were able to bring out a lot of detail in post-production, especially when fine-tuning colors and adjusting light. The flexibility it offers in post is a huge advantage, allowing us to push the footage even further in terms of dynamic range and color grading. However, one downside we noticed was the zoom camera. It's one of the features I was most excited about on the smaller iPhone model, but in low light conditions it didn't perform as well as I had hoped. We encountered some noticeable noise, especially when recording in 4K log. While it's a great feature for well-lit environments, it struggles a bit when the light starts to fade. On the photo side, though, this camera shines. The image quality is excellent, delivering sharp and vibrant shots even at a distance. While the video performance in log left us with a few doubts on a professional level, it's important to remember that we are still filming all of this on a smartphone, which, when you think about it, it's pretty mind-blowing. After all the changes we faced outdoors, we eventually returned to the studio to film the opening scene of the commercial. Here, with control lighting, we focused on capturing the more polished shots of the Moft Creator Media Kit unboxing. For this, we took full advantage of the iPhone 16 Pro slow motion feature, shooting in 120 FPS to create that dramatic smooth movements. We were inspired by a reel from London by the Way, where he used a similar slow motion effect. Our setup was far from high-tech. We used masking tape and transparent threads tied to a tripod to make the accessories appear as if they were floating. It was a very DIY approach, but the iPhone slow motion mode made the final result look far more professional than the setup might suggest. This transition from the clean control studio environment to the rugged forest really allowed us to showcase the iPhone's versatility. Speaking of the iPhone's new features, the addition of the capture button is one that surprised me. At first glance, it doesn't seem like a game changer, certainly not a reason to buy the iPhone 16 on its own, but in our case, with so many accessories and our hands constantly occupied, it became unexpectedly useful. Whether we were adjusting gear or trying to juggle multiple tasks, being able to quickly snap a shot with the capture button made a real difference. Apple has always paid attention to every detail of how we interact with this button. The experience, while at times overly complex since it can do so many things, is visually and physically satisfying. It's those small touches that enhance the overall shooting experience. In the end, the iPhone 16 Pro proved to be a powerful tool in the field. It may not replace all professional cameras just yet, but its performance, portability and ease of use make it an amazing companion for creators. And now, after all this behind the scenes work, it's time to show you what we have been working on.
Shorty said she coming with a back, with a pen, with a young coming with a back, with a pen, with a young coming with a back, with a pen, with a young coming with a back, with a shorty said she coming with a back, so young. But I don't want no love. I just wanna make the moolah, yeah, the moolah. I just wanna make the moolah, come on, show me the moolah. Shorty said she coming with a back, but she's so young, nigga, pull up and over. Now she said she wanna come over, yeah, but I don't want no love. I just wanna make the moolah, yeah, the moolah. I just wanna make the moolah, come on, show me the moolah, yeah. I don't want no love, you know me, I don't need.
Sì. Aspetta. No.